Welcome to the Guitar Resource Podcast, practice topics for the beginning and intermediate guitarist.
Hello, and welcome to this episode. Today we're going to talk about the G7 chord. And first we'll talk about how to play it. So I have the first finger here on the first string, first fret. Second finger on the fifth string, second fret. And third finger on the sixth string, third fret. And the strings 4, 3, and 2 are played open. Okay, so if you know G, it's not too hard to get to the G7. So the fourth finger here on the first string, third fret, and then just replace it with the first finger on the first string, first fret. So let's go over how we're going to think about this chord a little bit. So one of the first things that comes to mind on a seventh chord, like G7, is that it can be used as a 5 chord. So the 5 here would go to a 1 C chord. Okay. So if we were to count in the key of C, let's just call it C1, D2, 3, 4, and then we get to G, that's the 5. And we build a chord from that, we get the 5 chord. So let's talk a little bit about the solfege. We'll relate this to the key of C, but the G7 chord could also be a 1 chord if you're playing the blues, or it could be other chords as well, relative to a key area. So sometimes you have something called a secondary dominant. But I won't go into that now, but we'll spell this out relative to C. So let's use solfege. So we'll have sol. So that was third fret on the sixth string. La, fifth string. T and do, that's second and third on the fifth string. Fourth string open, that's re. And then we have mi, second fret, and fa on the third fret. And then third string open is sol again. Now, we have 2 full octaves available in this range, so let's keep going. So we have sol, third string open, la, second fret. Moving to the second string, we have T, do on the first fret, re on the third fret, and then first string open, this la, and then fa again. So let's spell this out from low to high using solfege. So we have sol, T, re, sol, T, and fa. And so this is helpful for us because we can think about the tensions that resolve to the C, right? So sol is also included in our 1 chord. But T wants to resolve to the C chord. Re also wants to resolve. Sol again is shared. T will want to go to the do, and then fa will want to descend to mi. Okay, so solfege can kind of help us get familiar with those tensions. Next up, let's talk a little bit about the note names, pitch names. So when you have a G chord, that implies that we have 3 notes, and those are G, B, and D. So if I play a standard G chord here, I'll spell it from low to high. I have G, B, D, G, B, and G. So you can hear there are 3 letters, 3 pitches, and some are just an octave higher than the previous ones. So we add another note name, F, for the G7. So we have F. So I'll spell this out from low to high. So G, B, D, G, B, and F. And then why don't we just spell out the pitch names from G on up through this scale, which we might think of as Mixolydian mode, or just thinking about G as it relates to the key of C. So I'm starting on the 6th string, 3rd fret, that's G. 5th string is A, 2nd fret B, and 3rd fret C. 4th string we have D, 2nd fret is E, 3rd fret is F. 3rd string open is G, 2nd fret A. 2nd string we have B, C, and D, that's open 1 and 3. And then 1st string open we have E and F. So that kind of spells out the note names in between the lowest and the highest note in this chord. Now, oftentimes with chords, we want to think about the numbers. So as the name implies, a G7, we have the G, which is the root 3rd and 5th, and then we have a 7. Okay, and we'll call this the flat 7. So let's go through that. So that will be spelled out relative to the G. So instead of 1, we'll say root for the G. Next note is the 3rd, and the 4th string open, that's a 5th, root, 3rd, and the flat 7. So if we were to spell out a scale, you'd find that we would have the root, 6th string, 3rd fret, and then 2, I'm 5th string now, 2nd fret, that's 3, 3rd fret, that's 4. 4th string now, we have 5, 2nd fret is 6, 3rd fret is the flat 7. So remember that, because we could even put that into our chord as well. 3rd string open, that's the root. And let's keep going. We have the 9 on the 2nd fret, or the 2 rather. And then the 3, 2nd string open, 4, and then the 5, that's 3rd fret, 6, and then the flat 7, 1st fret on the 1st string. So from low to high, we have root 3, 5, root 3, flat 7. Okay, so that's how we can work that out. And so as I mentioned before, we might be able to play this with the 1st finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and let's put the 4th finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret. We could also try putting the 4th finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and we'll just mute that 1st string. So that's another option there. Okay, so a few things that you can do with the G7, and you can also try adding a note to it. I'm just putting the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then I'm muting the 5th string with my 3rd finger. So just a little something you could try out there. All right, well, I hope this talk was helpful, and we're able to get a little more in-depth with the G7 chord. Be sure to tune in next week for the podcast, and you can also see video and so on at the YouTube channel and the Facebook page, and updates on Twitter. Of course, you can visit guitar-resource.com, and if you'd like to schedule a lesson with me in person online or or in the Baltimore, DC area, you can do so. Well, thanks again for listening, and I hope you have a great practice week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Guitar Resource podcast. Be sure to rate and subscribe. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.